Today we're going to begin talking about the object-oriented side of C++. Now this is in fact what gives C++ its name, that is, plus plus. Its predecessor language, C, was not object-oriented, so C++ was created afterwards, largely to add the functionality of objects. And what are objects? An object is what's called an abstract data type. That is, it represents a thing. And these things often reflect real-world objects. So let's say for this example, we're going to create a rectangle object. So what can we say about rectangles generally? Well, they have a length, they have a width, and they have an area that is calculated by multiplying length times width. So we could represent this with an array. So for example, we could say int rectangle, and we'll set that equal to a length of 5, a width of 3, and an area of 15. And then for every specific rectangle we want to create, we will do the same thing. So we can say int rectangle 2 equals a length of 6, a width of 5, and an area of 30. And while this will work, it is a bit tedious. We have to declare this array every single time we want to have a particular rectangle. Moreover, we have to remember that index 0 is the length, index 1 is the width, and index 2 is the area. So this is a fairly inconvenient solution. It would be better if we could create some abstraction of the rectangle that would say that all rectangles have the parameters length, width, and area. So let's clear this out, and let's create our first object. Now there are different types of objects that you can create in C++, and the one we're going to talk about today actually originates with the C language, its predecessor, and that is the struct or structure. So we'll use the keyword struct to say we are going to define a structure. We will name this structure rectangle, and then we're going to open curly brackets. And in these curly brackets, we're going to specify that all rectangles in a general sense have a length represented by an integer. They have a width also represented by an integer. And they have an area. But rather than defining area as a variable like the length and width, we're going to define area as a function. And we'll say that it is calculated by multiplying length times width. And we'll put a semicolon at the end. So this struct defines what is called an abstract data type. That is a representation of a thing, in this case a rectangle, in an abstract sense. Remember that when we are talking about rectangles generally, we will say that they have length, and they have width, and they have area. But if we're talking about a rectangle with a length of, say, 3 and a width of, say, 5, we are talking about a specific rectangle. And here we're trying to define the general rectangle, the abstract rectangle. When we want our specific rectangle, we will do what is called instantiating the object. So I can say struct rectangle, referring back to our abstraction here. Then I'm going to give this specific rectangle a name, R. Now we have defined an instance of rectangle, but we haven't specified its parameters. So I'll say r.length equals 5, and r.width equals 6. So now in this particular rectangle, I have set length and width to 5 and 6. So if I come into my print statement down here, and I print out r.area as a function call, when I run this, it will print 30. So up here we have defined the rectangle in a general sense, and then down here we have created a specific rectangle with specific values, and then we used the member method this int area function to calculate its area based on these specific parameters. And now I can create more instances of rectangles. So I can say struct rectangle R2. Let's give some space here. And I'll say R2 dot length equals 10 and R2 dot width equals 3. And now I can print R2 dot area, and let's remember to spell things correctly. Now if I run this one, it will print the area of rectangle 2, which also turned out to be 30, so I guess that doesn't illustrate the point, so let's change that to 5. So now this particular rectangle has an area of 50. And what's important to notice is that this rectangle did not replace the values in this one. I can still, after instantiating R2, I can still reference our area and get the correct value, 30. So using the struct, we're able to define an abstract representation of a thing, in this case, a rectangle. And we can say generally what parameters and methods that object will have, that is a length, a width, and a way to calculate its area. Then in our main function, we will define specific instances of that general rectangle to which we will assign specific values, thus storing those values and methods under one name. So if this video was useful for you, please leave a like. It helps me grow the channel and it will help other people find the video. And again, if you would like to see these tools used in a broader context, I recommend checking out my Developer Diary series, where I am working long-term on big projects and actually putting these tools to use. So thank you for watching, I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next one.